Now these two smartphones from Xiaomi have been in the news for quite a while now, as they are expected to succeed the Redmi 4 and Redmi Note 4. The Redmi 5 and 5 Plus do share a lot in common, but they have a few differences as well. The Redmi 5 Plus may or may not turn out to be the Redmi Note 5, however, they are still two very interesting devices that many are considering to purchase. But the question is, what are the differences between the two, and more importantly, which one among the Redmi 5 duo is the right one for you? This is Sandeep from Revetless. Let's find out the answer to these questions. Let's start off by comparing the most important aspect of the smartphone, the display. Both these phones have made the transition from 16:9 to 18:9 aspect ratios, and they are both IPS panels. The Redmi 5 has a 5.7-inch HD Plus panel with 1440 by 720 pixels of resolution, while the Redmi 5 Plus gets a 5.99-inch Full HD Plus panel with 2160 by 1080 pixels of resolution. They both have great color output, rounded corners, and sharpness is on point as well. However, they are both impacted in terms of sunlight legibility due to a reflective glass. The Redmi 5 is a bit better in terms of the sunlight legibility, since we found that the display does become a tad brighter than the 5 Plus. They both also have an increased contrast mode in display settings that might help improve the sunlight legibility. The Redmi 5 Plus has a higher screen to body ratio of 77.4% compared to 75.9% on the Redmi 5. In terms of physical dimensions, the Redmi 5 Plus is larger by all accounts. The length, width, thickness, and weight are all more than the Redmi 5. The thickness especially is more to accommodate a larger 4000 mAh battery, while the Redmi 5 gets a 3300 mAh battery. It could be attributed to the efficiency of the Snapdragon 450, but the Redmi 5 did give us better battery life in our tests. The Redmi 5 Plus gave us north of 8 hours of screen on time, while the Redmi 5 gave upwards of 9 hours on most days, and some days touching 10 hours as well. The Redmi 5 Plus holds on to the octa-core Snapdragon 625 clocked in at 2 GHz compared to the Redmi 5, which gets the octa-core Snapdragon 450 clocked in at 1.8 GHz. They both share the same Adreno 506 GPU, and although gaming experience seemed identical on both, the fluidity and daily experience felt a lot smoother on the Redmi 5. This is in spite of it having 3GB of RAM compared to 4GB on the 5 Plus. This could mostly be attributed to a Redmi 5 having lesser pixels to push. It's also worth noting that the Redmi 5 comes in either 2 or 3GB variants with corresponding 16 and 32GB of storage. There's no 4GB model this time around, and if you want one, you may be forced to go with the Redmi 5 Plus, which comes with either 3 or 4GB of RAM and 32 and 64GB of storage respectively. Both support 4G LTE, VoLTE, as well as a hybrid dual SIM card slot. Both support 802.11n Wi-Fi, but only the 5 Plus gets support for dual bands, while the 5 can only latch onto 2.4 GHz networks. They both have rear-mounted fingerprint scanners that are fast and accurate. The capacitive keys have been swapped in favor of on-screen keys, and they also have micro USB ports as well as audio jacks and IR blasters at the top. Call quality is great on both, and the speakers are considerably louder than the previous generation counterparts. However, the Redmi 5 Plus does give a bit extra volume on the loudspeaker than the Redmi 5. Coming to the cameras, they have identical hardware. 12MP f2.2 camera with 1.25 micron pixel size and dual tone LED flash at the rear. There's also a 5MP f2 camera with LED flash at the front. From what we can see, the quality is also very similar, but we'll take a look at both the phones in detail to see whether there's any difference. If so, we'll also be doing a video on the camera differences as well. While they may share a name and have many similarities, there are quite a lot of differences between the two as well. The 5 Plus is perhaps more catered towards more multimedia centric and enthusiast users, while the Redmi 5 is more ideal for people who want good performance in a compact form factor. That's it for the video guys. Please do hit the subscribe button if you like this video. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next one.